Welcome to another episode of Dread Captures, where we bring to you the most exciting and mysterious footage captured by trail cameras. From mountain lions and bears to the elusive Bigfoot and other unexplained creatures, we strive to bring you the best footage from the wilderness. Join us on our journey to uncover the secrets of the wild and discover the hidden wonders of nature. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and let's get into the captures. Our first clip is from Trail Camera Dad, and he's captured some amazing footage. The video starts with the elk feeding on some low vegetation towards the end of the day. You can tell they sense something. Something is hitting their nostrils. One of the cow makes an alert sound, and they all take off. And here comes the lion through the brush. As we watch it again, the cow closest to the screen makes the alert, but her back is facing where the lion came from. I wonder how she knows not to run that way. I guess it could just be instinctual. I'd love to know what experienced elk hunters and wildlife enthusiasts think the reason is. I grew up in an area that had wild horses, so when I saw this trail cam capturing horses running midday, I was intrigued. As they gallop by, you can notice the foal bringing up the rear, and that's why they're running. I imagine the foal was the bear's target. It's always great to see a glimpse into nature, and further proof that unless you have four legs, it's pretty hard to escape a bear. This is an interesting video here. A young boy and his father are exploring in Yellowstone National Park. As they're admiring the beautiful elk, the boy spots a creature behind the elk. Dad zooms in on the elk grazing and slows the video down. Circled in red, you can see the creature in the background. It appears he's in between a cluster of logs, foraging for something maybe. It's a little too far away to see it clearly, but the boy and his dad were adamant that it was a Bigfoot. I'm not here to tell them what they saw, and honestly, I can't even tell. My only real hang-up is that if it were a predator, the elk don't seem to care much. It appears they don't even notice that something is back there. Or, if it is a Bigfoot, maybe they don't view him as a predator. I'd be interested in what you all think about this. And can anyone make out what that creature is? This is an absolutely incredible event. A man is awakened by some commotion on his deck, so he goes to investigate. And wouldn't you know it, a mountain lion is standing there and has killed and dragged an elk onto his deck. Unbelievable. As the man films, the lion gives him a hiss, hoping he'll leave and let him eat in peace. I'm so interested in how all of this went down. If the struggle took place nearby and the cat dragged the elk there, or if it took place right in the guy's backyard. What do you guys think the timeline of events was? You can faintly see some light blood in the snow as the lion walks away. I wonder if he has an injury. Most importantly, I hope the lion is able to eat this, as I know he or she expended a lot of energy to kill that elk. These apex predators fail much more than you might expect, so like I said, a lot of energy was burned. If it was me, I'd call some buddies, load it up in the truck, and drag it out in the woods and let nature take its course. Nonetheless, an extraordinary camera capture. As a man named Wyatt drove down a rural road on a dark June night in 2021, the only thing illuminating his way was the beam of his headlights. As he continued, suddenly something strange caught his eye. darting across the road with lightning speed. At first he couldn't make out what it was, but upon reviewing the footage captured by his dashcam, he realized it was something truly terrifying. The creature, resembling something between a dragon and a gigantic mantis, is unexplainable. Wyatt had a passenger with him that night, and he had never seen anything like it either. Currently, this being remains a mystery to this day. Has anyone seen anything like this before? This video, recorded by a Florida man, shows him passing by a seemingly very common sight, a flock of birds in the sky. However, upon closer inspection, he realizes that the birds are not moving and appear to be frozen in time. It is highly unusual for a bird to be able to suspend itself in the sky without flapping its wings, and especially uncommon for a large flock of crows, which are known to constantly flap their wings to stay aloft. Are we witnessing a real-life glitch in the Matrix? When a forest gets really quiet, it always gives me the creeps. And recently it seems like every forest and town has a scary story attached to it, whether it's real or a myth. Well, recently, a man named Don was walking in the woods when he stumbled upon a creature unlike any he had ever seen before. It moved in a way that was not human or animal-like. As Don was filming, he cautiously crept up on the creature, which was ape-like but had very long and bent arms and legs and was hunched over. Some have suggested it could be a Sasquatch, but what I notice is the arms and hands. They're like nothing I've ever seen. It almost looks like some type of alien to me. The creature's gigantic sloth-like arms had no fingers, and it walked deeper and deeper into the forest, and Don didn't dare follow it. It's hard to say what this creature could be. Some have suggested it could be a deformed monkey or ape, or even a sick bear, but it seems far too thin and lumbering to be a bear. It also seemed to walk on two legs, almost like a human, but again almost alien-like. Others have been referring to this creature as a forest humanoid angel. I'm not sure why anyone would describe this as an angel, but I definitely believe in humanoids. A GoPro attached to a man's helmet shows him mountain biking down a trail. Holy hell. Was anyone fast enough to see that? Let's watch again. A startled deer collides with a mountain biker on a secluded trail, sending both the man, his bike, and the elk tumbling. Thankfully, no serious injuries were reported. In 2011, a farmer in a small village in Russia reported that his home was shaken by a sudden explosion. As he went outside and searched for the source of the blast, he stumbled upon a strange set of remains. The creature had an unusual head, and an even more peculiar torso and limbs. Its petrified state was also quite perplexing. The entire shape of the creature is intriguing. The farmer was said to be drying corn at the same time, which makes this even more odd. I don't think I would personally store an alien-like creature next to a potential food source. While it's difficult to say for sure without proper scientific examination, it's possible that this could be an unidentified extinct animal. With the Arctic warming twice as fast as the global average, it's likely that we may see more strange creatures emerging from the permafrost in the future. This next clip comes to us from the Daily Vale in Colorado, and what you see on camera needs no introduction. As you can see, a mountain lion has sauntered into a ground floor ski chalet, which appears to have no doors. Look, I understand ski in and ski out, but one door wouldn't hurt. Anyhow, the cat meanders around the hallway undetected, just checking things out, and somehow he must have gotten stuck in there, because he eventually even spends the night curled up down at the end of the hall. The next morning when the sun rises, the cat is looking for an escape. The cat continues to wander the halls, and you see a man stick his head out of his doorway. Looks like he and his son are going to hit the slopes. They duck back into their place as the cat hisses at them. And you can see the cat is frantic to get out of there and can't quite figure out the glass. He can see the outside, but he can't get there. Moments later, a couple comes back in with groceries or something, and a lady and her dog casually walk out for her dog to use the bathroom and start their day. And here comes the lion. As soon as the lion hits the threshold, you can see that he spots the two, likely still very close to the entrance, as he crouches down into a pounce position. As we fast forward, the lady eventually gathers her dog back in, after likely coming face to face with the lion. She motions to another resident and says, "There's a big bobcat." "No ma'am, that's no bobcat." Luckily, it seems as no one has been hurt though. Now, if I could, let's run through a scenario really quickly. I think this video is crazy. Let's say you're at this property, enjoying your night, watching Netflix, yada yada, and you hear some commotion out in the hallway. Maybe the lion bumps into your door, you think someone's knocking, whatever. You look through the peephole but don't see anything. So you open the door ever so slightly, and boom. You now have a mountain lion in your condo. What do? You probably don't have your phone, maybe you don't have shoes on, completely caught off guard, and now there's a mountain lion inside. What's your next move? I'm genuinely curious. You'd have to think fast. I guess it would depend on who's with you. If my kids and family are in there, I'm going back in regardless, but if I'm alone, I think the move is to lock the cat in there. Again, it would require some quick thinking. Let me know your tactics in the comments below. We've talked a lot about how dangerous feral hogs can be, not only to the community of farmers and agriculturalists, but to just people in general. In our next clip, we see a group of men trekking through the snow while on a hunt. Now, I don't know if they're hunting these boar, but they're hunting something. They have their rifles over their shoulders, and you can see them start running. When the camera pans behind them, a huge hog is heading straight for them, but veers off. Then another one comes barreling straight at one of the men that has fallen on the ground. Somehow the camera is still rolling, and no gunshots have been heard, I might add. And what looks like an entire family of wild boars is coming over the hill right at the guys. It looks to be like 12 to 15 of them. I'm assuming they all survived because there's a video, and man, they have quite the story to tell. Let me know in the comments if you've had any interactions with wild boars and feral hogs. Like most people, I love any inside look into wildlife, and I particularly love seeing animals and predators in action. Check this out as a wolf chases down a coyote in front of some ice fishermen. Look at the massive size difference. Coyotes are decent size, topping out at around 40 pounds, but big male wolves tip the scales around 140, 100-pound difference. I bet the coyote is glad he doesn't weigh 10 more pounds, or he would have been caught. The coyote jukes, getting the wolf off balance, and as the video ends, appears to have gotten away. Just an incredible camera capture for these guys fishing. Residents of Estes Park, Colorado became alarmed when they started seeing an elk with a mesh swing stuck in his antlers. He had been spotted a few times over a span of weeks. A local Facebook page was the first to put it on paper and reported the elk appeared to be in good health, but the swing seemed to be causing the animal some discomfort. Wildlife experts believe that the elk may have mistaken the swing for a rival, since this took place during mating season, or rut. Elk are known to engage in fierce competition for mates during this time of the year, and the swing may have been perceived as a threat. Experts also pointed out that human-made objects can be dangerous for wild animals, and it's best to avoid leaving any kind of trash or discarded items in natural areas. Local officials were trying to decide if they needed to have a professional remove the swing or let nature take its course. And ultimately, the swing would become dislodged when the elk lost his antlers. Some commenters on the Facebook post said they wanted to try to pry the swing from his antlers, but officials warned them not to. Like they said, it's too dangerous in the middle of mating season. Bucks are aggressive and are known to, quote, stand their ground in the presence of people. Let's leave this one to the professionals, guys.
Okay, so check this video out. A park ranger captured something pretty crazy on his phone. In a state park down in Florida, a ranger was driving one of the Jeeps on his way to investigate a disturbance on the other side of the park. Suddenly, he caught something out of the corner of his eye and noticed a huge figure moving among the trees. He pulled the Jeep to a stop, grabbed his flashlight and phone and started recording. Given the darkness, it's challenging to identify the figure clearly, not to mention trying to handle the spotlight and use the video on his phone. The creature eventually slinks off, and again, the footage is hard to decipher. But once back at the station, he shows his colleagues. Now, most people think it's just a black bear, and some say it's definitely Bigfoot. But the ranger has a sneaky suspicion he has captured video of the elusive Florida skunk ape here. They released the video to the public in hopes someone can identify the creature. On another note, the fact that it was a park ranger who recorded this has stirred quite the discussion. The footage provides a glimpse of the mystery creature, and I'd be interested if any of our viewers can make out any distinguishing features. Anyhow, let me know. What's your take on this footage? The video footage was captured by a dashcam installed in a vehicle traveling late at night. The driver, who later uploaded the clip online, felt something quickly move across his path while he was on the road. Initially, he was startled, thinking that maybe a deer or some other wild animal had darted in front of his car, a common occurrence on that specific highway. However, when he reached home and reviewed the footage, what he saw surprised him. The object that crossed his path wasn't a deer or any recognizable animal. Instead, it appeared to be a swift-moving shadow, darting across the road. Curious, and wanting to rule out any technical glitches, he sought the expertise of professionals to examine the footage. They confirmed that his camera was functioning correctly at the time and hadn't malfunctioned. What the camera captured seemed to be a mysterious shadow creature that resembled an animal in form. The very idea of a shadow entity taking on the shape of an animal added layers of intrigue to the entire encounter. So, what exactly was it that crossed his path that night? This is a pretty cool video from a viewer named James in Asheville, North Carolina. It's showcasing an orb they caught on their front porch camera. The reason this couple installed this camera is because odd things were happening in the front of their house. Check this out. What do you guys think about this? A floating orb, often referenced in paranormal circles, is believed to be a sphere of energy or light that is sometimes captured in photos or videos, particularly in locations purported to be haunted. Skeptics argue these orbs can be explained by natural phenomena, such as dust particles, insects, or lens flares interacting with the camera's flash. However, enthusiasts often view them as manifestations of spirits or other supernatural entities. Aside from the paranormal context, the term floating orb can also refer to any spherical object or phenomenon that appears to hover or float in the air. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think he has a pretty compelling case here. There is definitely a huge orb of some sort floating by. I'm no expert on dust particles, but I know for sure that's not a bug or something else. In this next video clip, you'll see something quite out of the ordinary. We have a mysterious creature boasting a large frame covered in reddish-brown hair. At first glance, it closely resembles some kind of primate, perhaps an ape. However, there's a twist. The person who uploaded this footage is adamant about one thing. This isn't just any ape. Instead, he believes, and wants us to believe, that it's the remains of a Bigfoot. You heard that right. The legendary creature that many have spoken about but few claim to have proof of. To add more weight to his claim, he mentions that this supposed Bigfoot wasn't just found lying around. It was, in his words, killed and preserved in ice. If this is true, it would mean that he stumbled upon this amazing discovery during one of his explorations, killed it, managed to capture it on video, and is now sharing it with the world. But here's where things get even more interesting. As you watch the footage again, with all this context in mind, you have to ask yourself, is this really the elusive Bigfoot that almost everyone is searching for? Or is this guy just full of it? Maybe it's another creature entirely, or perhaps a very well-planned hoax. When you see the footage taken in this forest, it might just challenge everything you've ever believed about our world. The intriguing video was recorded by a man on a seemingly ordinary sun-filled day as he ventured through the woods. But it wasn't just any day. He was gripped by this indescribable feeling that something beyond our understanding was close by. It's a feeling that many of us have experienced at one time or another. That eerie sensation that there's more out there than meets the eye. As he ventured deeper into the forest, the feeling grew stronger. And then, when he reached the exact spot where he began recording, it all made sense. If you really focus on the video, in the midst of the dense foliage, there's a mysterious dark figure. It's hard to make out the details because the video becomes blurry, likely due to excessive zooming. However, according to the man who recorded it, what he saw was a tall, ape-like creature, simply minding its own business. Imagine the adrenaline, the heart-racing fear he must have felt, especially when this creature, seemingly unaware of his presence, stood upright. In that instant, he grasped the true size of the being. It was far more massive than he initially thought. He might have even believed the creature had finally seen him, but instead, it simply continued on its path, fading deeper into the woods until it was out of sight. Recently, a truly puzzling video was posted on Instagram that has left many scratching their heads. In this clip, there's an elderly man strolling by himself, holding what looks to be a bucket or pail. As he continues on his path, suddenly out of nowhere, a dog appears right behind him. The interesting thing is, the dog didn't dart out from across the street, nor was it walking beside the man from the beginning. The man does catch a quick glimpse of the dog when he notices it dashing by, but he just keeps on walking, seemingly unaware of the mysterious way the dog just appeared out of thin air. Now, some viewers, after watching this, have come up with a few intriguing theories. Some suggest that maybe, just maybe, it's a case of a time-traveling dog. Others are leaning into the popular idea of a glitch in the Matrix, suggesting that perhaps reality had a minor hiccup. So here's the million-dollar question. Which theory do you think holds more weight regarding this peculiar event? Or could there be a simpler explanation that we're all missing? The next video footage reveals a captivating find by a brave adventurer in the untamed wilderness. This individual embarked on a journey to uncover the mystery behind some peculiar tracks, and what he stumbled upon might just leave you in shock. At a casual glance, these footprints seem like they could have been made by a human. They look almost exactly like the marks we leave with our own feet. But a more detailed look, especially when compared against the prints from the man's shoes, reveals something surprising about these footprints: their remarkable depth. This deep impression in the ground hints at either a terrain that's quite muddy and soft, or that the being that left these marks carries significant weight, hundreds more pounds than an adult man. Considering how deep these footprints are and their location in a secluded wilderness, the often fascinating theory of Bigfoot is brought to light. Could this be legit evidence of the renowned Bigfoot? Accounts of Bigfoot encounters, particularly in dense forests, have been shared for generations, sparking wonder and excitement in the minds of many. This particular explorer suggests an even more captivating hypothesis. The footprints, while deep, are smaller than one might expect for an adult Bigfoot. Could they be from a young Bigfoot? Still heavy but not fully grown? Only time and perhaps more exploration will truly tell. This next video we're talking about was shared on a Facebook page that goes by the name Alien Skies. A person named Garcia took the footage in the Philippines on a bright and sunny morning. The video zeroes in on a peculiar cloud that suddenly bursts with light. It almost looks like there's some mist or steam coming right out of the cloud itself. Now, some people who've watched this video are buzzing with theories. Some think it's got something to do with aliens, while others are saying it's weather manipulation by the government. But hold your horses. Would you be excited to know that what we're actually seeing is a natural event known as a crown flash? So, what's a crown flash? According to an article by Guinness World Records, it's a super rare weather phenomenon. Believe it or not, scientists first wrote about this way back in 1885 in a journal called the Monthly Weather Review. Crown flashes usually happen at the tops of thunderstorms, and at first glance, they can look a lot like a sundog, which is another kind of light phenomenon you might see in the sky. But here's where it gets interesting. Unlike your regular sundog, a crown flash keeps moving. Within a matter of seconds, you'll see it shift around, creating loops and beams of light that dance around the sky. So, what causes this light show? The best guess scientists have is that it's all about the changing electrical fields within the thundercloud. When this happens, ice crystals in the cloud, which are shaped like plates or needles, line up in a particular way. This unique alignment reflects sunlight, giving us the incredible display we see as a crown flash. And here's a cool part. Thanks to the fact that almost everyone's got a camera phone these days, amateur footage of crown flashes is popping up more and more on social media. So next time you see one of these videos, you'll know it's not little green men or another secret government project. It's a crown flash, or you can refer to it by its other cool name, a leaping sundog. Check this out. Caught on a night cam, a Kangal dog gets cornered by 3 hungry wolves right in the middle of the street. Now, even though Kangals are known to stand their ground against wolves, 3 against 1 isn't really fair odds. The poor dog's doing his best to fend them off. But here's the game changer. Out of nowhere, his 2 buddies dash in to help. Seeing they're now outnumbered, the wolves decide they're not that hungry after all and bolt out of there. To be honest, he was doing quite well for a 3-on-1 battle, but they would have eventually tired him out. And when the battle went from 1-on-3 to 3-on-3, the wolves knew it was time to go. They're not just big guard dogs. Those animals have been bred for hundreds and hundreds of years to fight wolves out in the bush. I even read they can go for days out there on just water and nibbling on some leaves and shrubs. Very impressive animals. If you've seen that jaw-dropping video circulating on Reddit recently, you're likely as puzzled and astounded as the rest of us. On what seemed like a regular, peaceful day, the kayaker in the footage experienced something utterly unexpected. Out of the blue, the water around him began to churn and froth, seemingly without any clear cause. It looked as though some unseen force beneath the surface was creating all the commotion. Many viewers have ventured a guess. A popular theory is that a group of manatees might be behind the mysterious disturbance. When startled, these gentle giants can act quite dramatically. Their massive bodies have the capacity to create splashes and disturbances that mirror exactly what was captured in the video. Moreover, manatees possess a unique sensory system. Unlike humans, they have a network of sensitive hairs around their mouths and across their bodies. This special system helps them navigate and sense their surroundings, especially in the shallow and often murky waters they call home. But the question remains, was it really the manatees causing the water's sudden uproar? Or could there be another, perhaps otherworldly explanation? Whatever you believe, the video certainly offers a tantalizing glimpse into the mysteries of the deep. Man, I have to say, that is pretty crazy. It very well may be a pod of manatees, but one thing is for certain, I would absolutely be freaked out. In this video, we see some type of animal acting really curious. The video starts with a bold, deep red color filling the screen. This red draws you in and makes you wonder what's about to happen. It feels a bit like the start of a thrilling movie, where you're waiting for something unexpected. As you keep watching, something cool happens. It looks like a tongue comes out and licks the camera. The plot thickens when the person who posted the video hints that this might be the famous Bigfoot doing the licking. Yes, that Bigfoot, the one people talk about, share stories about, and wonder if it's real or just a legend. But there's more to it. The uploader adds a twist. They've had visitors like this before. They think this might be a young Bigfoot, maybe a curious youngster who's fascinated by the camera. Could it be just playful behavior, or is this creature wondering what this strange thing is in its home? Let me know your thoughts. I feel like we've seen more and more juvenile Bigfoot footage lately. This photo was taken by a trail camera positioned in the woods, and while the image isn't crystal clear, it gives us a glimpse of the environment. We can see tall trees rising from the ground, with a few scattered leaves draping from the branches. Notably, there isn't much grass on the forest floor, just the raw, untamed earth. Amidst the slight blurriness of the photo, there's something that captures our attention. A mysterious black object lying motionless on the ground. When we take a closer look, the shape suggests something striking. It appears to resemble an ape-like creature resting on its back. To some, the immediate thought might be, could that be Bigfoot? But of course, there's always room for skepticism. In a world where our imaginations often fill in the blanks, it's not uncommon for people to jump to paranormal conclusions. For those who love a good mystery, it might even seem tempting to believe that we're looking at evidence of the legendary creature. However, until we have more information or clearer pictures, it's all up for interpretation. A couple captured this intriguing image while they were renovating their mobile home. Picture this. Over several weeks, you hear odd sounds at irregular intervals. At night, you can't shake the feeling that someone or something is peeping into your home through the windows. It's unnerving, to say the least. You have no concrete evidence, just this looming sense of unease. So, you decide to set up a camera near the window, hoping to catch the cause of your discomfort. After a while, you muster the courage to review the footage. Your heart skips a beat when, on the screen, you spot a mysterious figure that you hadn't expected. Looking closely, the facial features hint at the possibility of it being Bigfoot. But then you wonder, are there any other creatures with such distinctive characteristics? What makes this even more puzzling is the fact that, according to the couple, there aren't any apes or similar large primates known to inhabit that region. This leads to even more questions. If it truly is Bigfoot, are these elusive beings becoming less cautious, allowing themselves to be seen more often? Or is there a deeper, possibly hidden agenda that we're yet to discover? This unsettling video, which has been buried through the years, was posted on the YouTube channel Anything Whatever. As a couple plus one drive through the isolated forests near Provo, Utah, the person recording and their companions felt an eerie sensation of being watched from the shadows of the trees. Trusting their gut, they swiftly turned their car around and began filming, anticipating an unexpected development. Here's the chilling scene they captured deep within the dense woods.
Right around this corner, I think. Like right here somewhere.
Oh, look, right there, right there. Stop, stop, stop. Back up, back up. It was right there. I just saw it.
Gosh.
Watch out, you're like going off the road.
Like right here somewhere.
Oh, look, right there, right.
Navigating through the nearly impenetrable darkness, the car's headlights briefly reveal an entity standing precisely between two trees, just as Anything Whatever had described. This being appears robust and is covered in thick fur. What's more unsettling is its gaze, which seems to fixate on the passengers, yet it doesn't attempt to hide as they drive past. The video is titled Bigfoot Sighting Near Sundance, Utah, and many viewers are convinced they're seeing the legendary Bigfoot in action. However, the question remains, is this a genuine glimpse of the mysterious Bigfoot? Let me know what you guys think, and if you've seen this video before. It's not every day that someone snaps a vivid image of a potential supernatural entity. However, Jerry Moran, a mother from Derry, Northern Ireland, managed to capture an astonishing yet eerie image during a forest hike. Eager to immortalize memories of her family outing, Jerry took several photographs of her loved ones. But upon reviewing the pictures at home, she was taken aback by an unexpected discovery. The photo in question showcases Jerry's children enjoying their time in the forest. But upon closer inspection, an unfamiliar figure can be spotted right before her son Finn. Recalling her experience, Jerry mentioned, quote, "After our walk, I was looking through all the photos I had taken and noticed a kind of shadow or disturbance in front of my son Finn." She continues, "When I looked closer, I couldn't believe what I saw. It looked like a man to me. It looked like a soldier standing there beside the tree. None of us saw anything when we were walking past the tree. There was nothing there to see. The kids didn't notice anything and weren't afraid or anything. It really freaked me out when I saw it at home. On my phone, the kids want to head back out again." This week for a walk, once the photograph gained traction on local media outlets, Derry historian Ken McCormack shed light on its significance. He highlighted that the very spot where this eerie silhouette appeared used to be a post for the British military in the early 20th century. Ken opined that the shadowy figure bore a strong resemblance to a military officer from that era. So, the question arises, did Jerry Moran inadvertently photograph the spectral image of a bygone soldier? Share your thoughts below. This image sure looks normal at first glance, but a second and third look, and you'd realize that there is nothing normal about it. At first, it looks like a coyote. You look closely and realize that although it does look like a coyote, it has features that are somewhat reminiscent of a wolf. Despite the blend of features, it's not a coy wolf either. You look at its eyes and you'd realize that they're not a normal color you'd expect from such a canine. It almost looks possessed, as though there were some other entity possessing its body, or perhaps another being had shape-shifted and taken its form. Many that have seen it believe it to be a skinwalker. A mother deer used to hang around the trail cam where this was captured until this strange thing started showing up. At the beginning of the video clip, the camera slowly zooms into a picturesque cluster of trees that you might typically find in any woodland area, but within a few moments, the scene shifts from serene to surreal. Suddenly, from the depths of this forest, a bizarre figure emerges. It seems almost otherworldly, a puzzling entity perched high on a tree branch. At a quick glance, this figure bears a resemblance to a human, but its features are indistinct, making it difficult to clearly identify. Encountering such a sight in person would likely send anyone in fear. Now, here's where it gets even more intriguing. The video is purportedly a screen recording from Google Maps. That's right. According to the person who uploaded the clip, this revelation has sparked heated debate among viewers. Some are convinced that the video has captured evidence of a supernatural entity. They argue that there's something out there that defies our understanding. On the other hand, skeptics dismiss the entire thing as absurd. They contend that it's implausible for Google Maps to capture such anomalies in a forest setting. So, the question remains, is this a genuine glimpse into the unknown, or just a curious quirk of technology? The camera captures a moment so delicate and silent, it makes even the faintest whisper sound, as jarring as a plate shattering on the floor. Suddenly, and seemingly out of thin air, a figure dashes into view, racing swiftly to the right. Its destination? That remains unclear. This mysterious entity has a figure that's both haunting and fascinating. It bears a spooky resemblance to a ghost, but with legs that stretch long, reminiscent of those on an ostrich or perhaps a flamingo. Upon closer inspection, the oddity intensifies. This figure doesn't seem to have an upper body at all. Instead, its form looks as ghostly and intricate as a spider's web floating in the breeze. Despite its unusual and eerie appearance, the figure moves with a purpose. It strides forward with an air of confidence, exuding a sense of power. This raises so many questions. What is this strange being? Where is it headed? And most importantly, what could possibly explain its very existence? Could this be some cryptic creature from folklore? Or perhaps, considering the season, it's merely an individual in an ingeniously crafted Halloween costume? If it's the latter, then kudos to the creator. Let me know your thoughts. Today's intriguing footage hails from the Japanese Paranormal channel, Fourth Wall. A man sent a video to the Fourth Wall crew, sharing that after rescuing a stray cat previously owned by his home's former inhabitants, strange events began occurring. He gifted the cat to his acquaintances, the Kimuras. However, just a few months later, due to unsettling incidents in the residence, the Kimuras chose to relocate. It was said that the house had a sinister history, spanning 2 decades, with tales hinting that an earlier dweller may have been under a possessed spirit. It was also said that a man met his demise near the door in question. Determined to document the eerie occurrences, the man placed cameras around the house, particularly focusing on the notorious door linked to the tragedy from 2 decades prior. The initial recording showed a paper eerily slipping off a shelf. Disturbed by these happenings, the Kimuras left. They couldn't stand it anymore, and ultimately this left the house deserted. However, the owner's recording endeavors continued. A few nights in, the static camera captured a particularly haunting scene. A door gently swung open on its own, revealing a ghostly white figure in the doorway. Blown away, he began examining all the video clips from the time the Kimuras inhabited the place. During his review, he stumbled upon a spine-chilling moment. The footage showed Mr. Kimura entering the living space, then peculiarly standing still for about 2 minutes. Bizarrely, he later squatted next to the infamous door. As one of their cats sauntered in, it seemingly disregarded Mr. Kimura as if he wasn't truly himself. He eventually exited the area. A side note when asked about the video, Mr. Kimura had no recollection of this. Many who viewed this unsettling video on YouTube speculated that the dwelling might be haunted by the soul of the individual who died there 20 years ago. Some even theorized that the ghostly figure was a malevolent being that might have taken over. Mr. Kimura echoing the event from 20 years back. Is the residence truly cursed? Did he indeed capture supernatural phenomena on camera? I'm very curious about what you guys think. Have you ever seen Jurassic Park? If yes, then you understand the captivating yet daunting portrayal of dinosaurs. The movie seamlessly merges fantasy with the chilling reality of prehistoric creatures. Take, for example, a video that's been making rounds on the internet. This clip displays what seems like a shadowy figure of a large winged being. At first glance, you'd think it's just a typical bird due to its wingspan and protruding beak. However, upon a detailed view, it eerily mirrors the flying reptiles seen in Jurassic Park. Remember those menacing creatures that attacked planes and grabbed unsuspecting humans from the sky? They're called pterodactyls. Dinosaurs have always been a hot topic of conversation and speculation. There's concrete proof of their existence, with numerous fossils affirming their era on this planet. Yet, the common belief is that they perished several million years ago. However, some skeptics debate their total extinction. A few even reference theories like the Hollow Earth idea, positing that these ancient beings might secretly inhabit hidden regions. Which leads to the speculation, could the entity in the footage be a descendant of the pterodactyl, or is it merely a clever ruse? Let me know what you guys think. Personally, I've never heard of the Hollow Earth idea. Have you guys? By now, the idea of extraterrestrial life shouldn't really surprise us. This footage from California captured a captivating event in the night sky. Brilliant lights illuminated what appeared to be an aircraft. Or more accurately, one craft seemingly separating from another. The distinct shapes of the two crafts stood out, their contours defined by the radiant lights they emitted. Observing the speed and maneuvers of this craft, it's challenging to believe that it's a product of human engineering. The agility and unique nature of the movement aren't like anything we've seen from human-made aerial vehicles. This leads us to ponder the tantalizing possibility. Might this be an aircraft from another world? Could we, in fact, be witnessing genuine extraterrestrial technology in our own skies? The very thought raises a myriad of questions. Why are they here? Is this a one-time visit, or have they been observing us for a while? And if these are actual aliens, what could they possibly want? While the footage from California provides no definitive answers, it certainly stokes our curiosity. The photo in question was taken by a young girl sitting next to another woman. At first, they didn't think much of the snapshot, but when they looked at it later on, they were in for a shocking surprise. Floating just above the young girl's head was the image of another head, which bore the appearance of an elderly man. His eyes, eerily empty, stared back at them. One might wonder, could this be the spirit of a doting grandfather visiting from the afterlife to spend a brief, tender moment with his beloved granddaughter? However, when the image is inspected closely, the ghostly representation of what appears to be a grandfatherly figure seems too perfect. It's so well detailed that it's reminiscent of high-quality editing work, the kind you'd see in movies. But despite the possibility of it being fabricated, the unsettling feeling the picture gives can't easily be dismissed. There's an undeniable eeriness about it that lingers long after you've seen it. A TikTok user uploaded this video clip. The description accompanying the video simply stated, "Found this in the middle of nowhere. In the video, as the scene unfolds, you see what appears to be a lone figure positioned in the midst of the road. The setting is eerily silent, and the surroundings seem desolate, almost as if the place had been forgotten by time. The intent of this figure is puzzling, as it seems to be making an effort to redirect an approaching car, guiding or perhaps warning it to choose a different path. When you take a closer look, the figure itself is, well, unsettling. Its skin appears pale, almost ghostly. It possesses a thin stature, but what's particularly unnerving are its long, outstretched arms, seemingly reaching out for something. Coupled with an oddly shaped head, the figure looks otherworldly. To put it plainly, it doesn't resemble any human I've ever seen. Although the exact location of where this video was shot remains uncertain, one thing is clear from the environment. It's an isolated, perhaps even forsaken location. The kind of place where stories and legends are born. Many questions arise from watching this clip. What is this figure? Why is it there? And what was its intent? A Reddit user recently posted a photo that caught a lot of people's attention. The photo was taken using Samsung's advanced night vision technology. The person who uploaded the picture mentioned hearing odd sounds in their apartment, especially coming from the kitchen area. Sounds like tapping and the opening and closing of cupboard doors have been keeping them on edge. Adding to the eerie vibe, the apartment building itself dates back to the 1970s and has a bit of a sketchy reputation. At first glance, the photo looks like any other ordinary snapshot, taken in complete darkness except for some faint external light filtering in from outside. But thanks to Samsung's advanced technology, the photo appears much clearer and brighter than you'd expect for a picture taken in the dark. However, things get interesting when you zoom in and manually brighten the image even more. Hidden in the shadows, an unsettling figure begins to appear. The image shows a man with long hair and a beard dressed in a dark coat. It's enough to creep you out. Night vision devices work by using something called image intensifier tubes. These tubes amplify whatever ambient light is available, allowing for much clearer and brighter images even in low light conditions. This technology is commonly used in various scenarios like nighttime surveillance, search and rescue missions, and covert operations by first responders and other professionals. So, the question now is, could this mysterious figure be the source of all the strange noises that the person has been hearing in their apartment? It's a compelling thought, and has certainly sparked a lot of discussion among those who've seen the image.